Hey guys, in today's video I am playing the Standard B on Studzianki, and I'm going to explain to you guys how I read the map and then how I decide where I'm going to flex to based on what's happening. In my first video, I just showed a pretty basic example of where I shifted from one flank to another, but in this battle I think I've changed my position a total of 10 times, 10 different positions I kind of occupy throughout the course of the battle, and you may get battles where you have to move around way more than that. It really depends on the situation. So this will get a little more in-depth about how I'm determining where I should go on the map based on what's happening in front of me. So right away I decide to go south, which is my preferred spot on this map. The north is kind of campy, and it doesn't really have as many opportunities for pushing in my opinion, so I typically play the south side of the map. And I'm just going to move up to the church here and take a look through the bushes and see what we can see. These bushes kind of sort of work. If enemies are kind of close, they'll spot you through them, but it does provide some camo. So right away, T10 comes charging through, put a shot into him, back up immediately. Luckily, I don't take a return shot from him. And you can see right now, our T49 is making a really big mistake. He committed into the ditch right away at the beginning, and now he is getting dumped on by their whole team. And if I had decided to go in there either just right away myself, or I decided to go in there to help him, I'd be dead as well. So really important when you're playing this map, don't commit into the ditch right away, because it'll probably get you killed. And you can see, if you look at our deployment right now, the Conqueror is the only tank that had actually made it up this far. The rest of our team is way back here. So it's really important that you read the map. The T-49 wasn't paying attention to where our support was. He decided that he was going to do a scout run and then decided to drive all the way down to this area, and that allowed him to get dumped on. So pretty obvious that it's time for me to leave. We've got a lot fewer tanks here. They've got a lot more. We're totally outnumbered. So me staying, I'm going to die if they decide to continue pushing. So that's a pretty obvious decision that you should leave in this situation. Even with me there, it's basically just kind of 5 tanks, and they have, looks like 7, maybe more. So definitely outnumbered. So I'm going to relocate to this position right here, the back line where TDs often sit. And what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to shoot down this building, this destructible building. And what shooting down this building allows us to do is that all of our guys over here, and you can see him teeing up that target, they can now shoot all these tanks that are hiding behind the church. You can see the fire coming in right there. All these heavy tanks in the north can now shoot at those guys who are getting proxy spotted by the Conqueror. And you can see already 2 of them have decided, quite wisely, to leave. They're already pulling back down into the ditch because they know they can't sit there behind the church. They're going to get shot at by all these guys. And I'm coming over here as well because I want to see if I can get some damage into these guys. And unfortunately here, that truck was in the way of my shot on the IS-3, and I actually did go through the truck and hit him, but I didn't have enough penetration after going through the truck to actually penetrate the side of his hull, and just damaged his tracks there. But by knocking down the building there, I was able to get my team some damage on those guys, and it forced them to retreat. So just by me making one relocation, it's changed the whole course of the battle. Now this Pershing here, I'm not exactly sure what he thought he was going to do by just kind of charging up the ditch and poking out on me, but he's dead now. Made a mistake and paid the price. So just waiting for my reload now. The Standard B has a really punishing reload. When you fire all of your shots, it takes a while to get them back up. So it makes it a challenging tank to play for that reason. You really have to be very good about your reload management and knowing when to shoot and when not to shoot. So as I'm driving away here, I actually pick up a ton of assist damage on the T10 because I had spotted him down in that ditch, and I guess our heavy tanks were actually able to put out some damage onto him. I wasn't exactly sure which position he was sitting in, but he might have actually been sitting a little higher up on the ditch there, which would have enabled them to shoot him. So this is me relocating again now. I've gone from my initial spot to over here to here, and now I'm coming back to the south because you can see, since they pulled back, now our team has been given the opportunity to counter push, counterattack on these guys. So I'm going to go rejoin them and rejoin this counter push down here, and hopefully we can clean up this flank and progress onto their base from there. And as I'm driving, I can see that their enemy heavy tanks in the north are actually pressuring ours now, and they're driving through the gap in the warehouse. So I'm looking for some shots on these guys. And as I said, I'm waiting for my final shot to be reloaded here, so I've got 3 instead of just firing 2 and then waiting a long time to get the reload off. And I managed to connect 3 of them, which is good. And now I'm reloading. I'm going to change my position again. When you're playing autoloaders, use the time, your downtime in between reloads where you have no shells, use that time to think about what you want to do next, and then execute that move. Use that opportunity to change your positions, but certainly think about what you want to do while you're reloading. You got plenty of time to sit around and think, because you don't have any targets to shoot at, so use that time wisely. So right now, I put 3 shots into the VK, I think it was. And all these guys are pushing more aggressively, so I don't have any shots on them now. They're pushing our heavy tanks here, and I'm not going to be able to get those cross shots. Now, in this situation, I could opt to go back and defend our base. At the time, I figured we'd probably be okay, because we have the SU back here, and he should have pretty good shots at these guys if they push much more aggressively, so I wasn't really afraid of that flank falling. So my thinking right now is I just want to continue the push in the south here and take out their base. Progetto 46 was last spotted down here, so hopefully we can pick him at least and then kind of go from there. So just waiting for my team to pull up a little bit more, and we can see the Progetto is actually sitting in the exact same spot as he was before. He hasn't moved, he's just hiding behind his house. So we can just pull up and clip him out right here. Put a second one into him there, pick up the kill. And now, just get safe behind this house, and the Super Pershing there, or is that a Super Pershing? Yeah, whatever it is. Or Pershing, Super Pershing. Their Super Pershing takes out our Pershing. And he has not been spotted yet. T-2064, Super Pershing. And also the Udez TD has not been spotted. So based on where this guy died, next to the house here, I'm thinking they're probably camping back here somewhere in the bushes. So there's just 3 of us on that flank. I didn't want to continue the push, and you can see that the Super Pershing is where I thought he was going to be. Yeah, unfortunately, that shot misses there. So I decided I'm going to come back to the middle now, instead of trying to push the one line, because I don't want to be pushing through those bushes and have them camoed up and they're going to get the first shot advantage. So I decided to come back to the middle. And you can see that's probably the right decision, because our FE 4202 dies, and maybe if I had gone over there with him, we could have pushed out the Super Pershing and the Udez, but because it's a Super Pershing, I can't pen his front reliably. I have to carefully aim in at his weak spots to try and get a pen, so I would have to commit all the way in onto him, try and get around him to clip him out, and hope that my allies land shots. So it's certainly a more risky push, so I decided to come here instead. So from here I can put shots into this 50 TP who's playing off that building there. So I'm going to push up some more here, see if I can clean up the 50 TP, or maybe kill the 2 remaining heavy tanks that are looking at pushing onto the Emil right now. Just coming through the low ground here so I don't get spotted. These guys are both very low health, so I decide I'm just going to commit right onto them, because I'm thinking the Udez is probably close to the Super Pershing, so I should be safe making this play. And then get one into the IS-32, and then put one into the Maushin as well. 2 kills picked up. We're up 1 gun now. See the EBR is kind of zipping around in the back there, but he shouldn't be able to push out our 53 TP. So just waiting for my reload again. Trying to figure out where I want to go to next. I'm thinking about whether I want to commit on the 50 TP, but I have to be cognizant of the Super Pershing base, which would have shots on me if I pushed around on him. So just thinking right now, 50 TP gets lit, and then I spot the Udez moving up on the A line, and I'm aiming and looking for a shot at him. I could have snapped one there, but I wanted to wait till I was fully aimed, because it is a slim target there, and Udez actually plays this really well. He actually kind of pulls back, and he gets safe behind the ridge there, so he can hull down. So I decided to just back off. I don't want to take that fight. It's a slim shot that I would have against him, and he'll probably hit me because I'm in the open, so I don't want to take that engagement. So now that I know where he is, I'm thinking, and I decide here that I want to push onto the 50 TP, because the Udez won't have a shot on me based on where he is, so I'm hoping I can just clip him out quickly, and I can see the 50 TP's distracted, put one onto his side turret, put one onto his lower plate, and right here I make a mistake. I eat a shot from the Super Pershing, and what I should have done is what I did right now. I pulled in behind this building. I should have done that immediately, or at least after I had fired the first shot into the 60 TP there. I should have pulled forward so that the Super Pershing wouldn't have had a shot on me, and then I could have gotten a kill. So now I'm safe behind this building. I'm covered from the Super Pershing, and I'm also covered from the Udez. And you can see the EBR is also falling back now. So we're in a reasonably decent position. We have pretty much most of the map controlled, but the Super Pershing in particular, he's in a pretty good position because he's got the camo from all those bushes, and he's got hard cover. He's got the buildings there shielding him as well. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do next. And you can see our TVP was pushing up way too aggressively. Even though he was in that dip there, he could get shot by the EBR and the Udez over here. So he dies. There's really no reason for him to be pushing up that aggressively right there. I get spotted. I decide I need to leave because although I'm safe in that position, I can't really do anything from it. So I eat a shot from the Super Pershing, unfortunately, pull down into the low ground here. And now I'm going to relocate again. And I'm going to tell my Conqueror here to come with me. He was just blind shotting towards the EBR and the Udez, I guess. I guess maybe that might work. He might land some, but that's not going to win for the game for us probably. So we need to try and make something happen here. So once again, I'm going to attempt to try and push through the south. I'm going to try and make this this one line play now. Now that I know that the Udez is in the north and I only have to deal with the Super Pershing, I feel more comfortable taking that risk. Unfortunately, the 50 TP, 53 TP is also coming, and I'm telling him to go back here. There's no reason for him to be coming with us because we need to maintain map control. We need to try and maintain a vision cordon on them because this EBR has got great mobility and he can just go around anywhere on the map and threaten our cap, and so he should not be coming with us. We need to try and spread out our tanks to try and keep a surround on them while being close enough to support each other. Now I'm just waiting for the Conqueror to join me before I make this push. I want him to be kind of in this position. And then right here, the EBR decides to go start active scouting, and this is like the worst possible time for this to happen. Take a shot at him, miss, unfortunately, but also luckily the Super Pershing bounces one off me, which is not common. This tank does not have any armor, so you really can't rely on ever taking bouncing incoming fire, but I got lucky there. So I'm getting the hell out of here right now. I can't sit there because the EBR can just keep me spotted for the Super Pershing, so like, this plan is now foiled again, so I gotta figure out something else. So I decide I'll try this angle here. Maybe the EBR will go for another run, and then by me being in the bushes on the high ground here, I'll have a good vantage point to shoot at him if he decides to make that run again. And the 53 TP is making a really stupid move, just pushing through the J line rather than going along the edge. And you can see here comes the EBR for another run now. He starts to turn, I'm lining up a shot in front of him, and then he drives into my reticle, and I can take him out. And this is like a really good thing you can do, a good tactic for shooting EBRs. Like, they're moving really quickly. Don't try and follow them. Try and predict where they might go, and then aim in front of that, and then wait for them to drive into your reticle and take the shot. So Super Pershing gets spotted behind the destructible building there, so I decide to shoot it down, and then hopefully I can clip him out here. And he's luckily sitting in the open instead of pulling back, and looking for the kill shot here, and then it just goes low and hits the dirt, unfortunately, and now I'm on a 12-second reload. But luckily, the Conqueror is able to pick up the kill on him. So now he's dead, and it's just the Udez remaining. One thing I should touch on is the Emil, who for most of the battle, or for the past, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, has actually been disconnected. And I didn't realize that for most of the battle, that he was disconnected. But thankfully, his presence there was enough to dissuade the enemy from pushing on him earlier. So I get parked behind this destructible building here. And this is actually a really good example of when it is appropriate to cap. You can see there's just 2 minutes left, and I'm against the remaining Udez TD, who's got good camo and decent mobility. It would be a huge mistake for me to try and chase him down because he can just run away. So this is a situation where it makes total sense to just try and cap out, force him to come. You can see he actually picks up the Conqueror there. So he's probably here. I don't think he can spot all the way to there. But he is probably not going to be able to get back in time to reset us, and he's not even trying to shoot down this building, and a huge mistake on the enemy team's part for not destroying this building in the first place. Anytime you're westbound, somebody should try and destroy this on cap here, because it just gives a huge advantage to the enemy, and he doesn't come for us, so it's a win. You can see I moved around a lot this battle, and sometimes that's going to be necessary, sometimes it won't be. There's a lot of steamrolls, obviously, when you just kind of roll one flank and that's the game, but sometimes you get into these more close battles and you have to move around a lot. So hopefully that gives you some idea of the thought process that goes into where and when and why I put my tank on in a specific spot on the map. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.